After many, many years, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Madhusudana, the killer of the demon Madhu, having entered the semen of Kardama, appeared in Devahuti, just as fire comes from the wood in a sacrifice. It is clearly stated here that the Lord is always the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although he appeared as the son of Kardama Muni. Fire is always present in wood, but by a certain process fire is kindled. Similarly, God is all-pervading. He is everywhere, and since he may come out from everything, he appeared in his devotee's semen. Just as an ordinary living entity takes his birth by taking shelter of the semen of certain living entity, the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepts the shelter of the semen of his devotee and comes out as his son. This manifests his full independence to act in any way, and it does not mean that he is an ordinary living entity forced to take birth in a certain type of a womb. Lord Narasimha appeared from the pillar of Hiranyakashipu's palace. Lord Varaha appeared from the nostril of Brahma. Lord Kapila appeared from the semen of Kardama. But this does not mean that the nostril of Brahma or the pillar of Hiranyakashipu's palace or the semen of Kardama Muni is the source of the appearance of the Lord. The Lord is always the Lord. Bhagavan Madhusudanaha, he is a killer of all kinds of demons, and he always remains the Lord, even if he appears as the son of a particular devotee. The word Kardamam is significant, for it indicates the Lord has some devotional affection or relationship in devotion service with Kardama and Devahuti. But we should not mistakenly understand that he was born just like an ordinary living entity from the semen of Kardama Muni in the womb of Devahuti. So yesterday we were discussing about the principle of the incarnation of the Satchidananda Lord who exists in the transcendental dimension, and the principle how he appears to us, he appears to our material senses, even though he is in a transcendental form which is invisible to our material eyes. Still how is it that he allows his devotees who are in this dimension to see him and worship him and offer service to him? Because without an opportunity of directly serving the Lord in a personal way, it is not possible for the living entity to awaken his original mood of service to the Lord. Because the original nature of the living entity is that he is an eternal servant of Krishna. So, right now in the material world, each of us are in a different mood, with a different attitude, in a different bhava. We are in a bhava of independent enjoyment. We are in the bhava of independent struggle for existence. Bhava means overall attitude. If you want to summarize a karmi, you can say, what is his bhava? Oh, he is after enjoyment, accumulating enjoyment, struggling hard for enjoyment, struggling hard for stopping suffering. All independent is his attitude. His attitude is independent. Some people become little God conscious. With God's help they try to enjoy, and God's help they try to remove their suffering. It's a little better bhava. Whereas our original bhava is that we are the servant of Krishna. And the original bhava, how can it be awakened? It has to be cultured. It's not all of a sudden one second you get enlightened. You can get small enlightenments. That is called realizations. But your total awakening is slowly cultured into a bhava. A different bhava. Devotee has a different bhava. He has a seva bhava. He has a bhava of not enjoying. He has a bhava of giving enjoyment to the Lord. By chanting, japa, all this we are practicing the bhava of giving pleasure to the Lord. So, just imagine, without an opportunity for a personal service, because we are all persons in this material world. Even though we are spiritually persons, in the material world also we are persons. I am man, I am one. These are all personalities, isn't it? Because rasa you get by being something. By being a man, you get the rasa. By being a woman, you get the rasa. By being a dog, you get the rasa. Being a tiger, you get the rasa. The soul is, first thing that the soul does in this material world, it becomes something. I want to be something. As we discussed the other day, we can be so many things. No harm. But behind it, you should have a primary being of, I am a servant of the Lord. As a servant of the Lord, I am a man. Man is an identity. Woman is an identity. As a servant of the Lord, you can say, I am an old man, I am a young man. I am a father, I am mother, I am businessman, I am president, I am temple commander, I am this, I am preacher. All these things you can have, these designations. As long as those designations don't turn into ahankara, when those designations serve our primary bhava that I am the servant of Krishna, then it is not called ahankara. So, now the only way is, as we started saying, ultimately the awakening is a culturing of a spiritual attitude. Rather, you can say you have to culture an attitude body. Your subtle body should transform. Our subtle body should transform into an attitude of seva in relationship with Krishna. So for that I need Krishna to practice. Otherwise, how I'll practice? I have to serve him. I have to offer him something. I have to worship him. I have to glorify him. I have to appreciate his intelligence, appreciate his unlimited qualities. So I have to create a subtle body for which these become very natural. Just like now, if you say a man's body, he has a subtle body, he has a slice of a subtle body, how naturally it will get attracted to woman. From childhood it is cultured like that. Similarly, woman is all mechanisms. From childhood, three modes of mental, it creates that attraction. If some short circuit is there in the system, then instead of man getting attracted to man, man can get attracted to man also. Woman can get attracted to women also. Bodily. Why? It all depends on conditioning. How conditioning has happened. Nothing is absolute in these things. So, that apart. We need to get an opportunity to daily practice service to Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. Service to Vaishnavas, service to our bona fide spiritual master, service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We need. There's a necessity. Therefore, the Lord incarnates. The Lord incarnates so that with our karmic body, we can serve Him. And when we serve Him with our karmic body becomes purified of all karmas. It becomes purified of all karmas, and our subtle body gets cultured into a devotee subtle body. A servant but subtle body. That subtle body will develop humility. Automatically, the quality of subtle body is not pride, humility, awareness, knowledge that I am servant of Krishna, etc., etc. So these incarnation, whether it is the Archa Vigraha, whether it is the deity, or whether it is the form of the Lord as avatara in the midst of humanity like Lord Kapila, or the avatara of a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada in the midst of the human society. They are like magnets that will attract the living entity towards devotional service. Give us a chance to do devotional service. Just like Prabhupada comes into this world, he has a mission for Lord Krishna. So many people in this world have missions. Every company has a mission. Every individual has a mission. I want to become this, I want to become this, I want to start up, I want to become a millionaire, billionaire. Everybody has mission. The process is same. Here Prabhupada also one mission he wants. He has a mission. But he is incarnated, the mission of the Lord. Therefore, just like let us say I work for some company and join their mission and serve their mission, the process is not different. Same way I join this mission and I serve Prabhupada's mission, what happens? I am culturing my spiritual body. I am culturing my subtle body. I am purifying my subtle body of working for Krishna, purifying my subtle body of becoming free from fruitive activities, fruitive mentalities. So, that is the purpose of the incarnation. Yesterday we discussed the principle of how this incarnation, because we are conditioned to think in certain ways. If you look at the stone, which is the deity, or with the vibration Hare Krishna, for our gross senses, practically it is like any other sound. Or the material of the deity is like any other material. Unless I have realization and I have faith, followed by realization, it won't be very natural for me to serve a piece of stone. It won't be natural for me to go on repeating Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Like in railway station, they go on chanting, chai, 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 chai. If somebody argues with you, if you have no faith, they can always, you're crazy, why? That fellow also is doing yoga, chai, 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 chai. You are also doing 16 rounds. This is also ordinary sound, this is also sound. We'll say. So we need to understand from the scriptures the tattva of how the Lord incarnates into the energy, his own energy. Yesterday, I introduced the two concepts. Because the energy vigraha and person vigraha. These names are useful for us to conceptualize things. Not that these names are absolute. It communicates certain understandings. In the body of the Lord, Archa Vigraha, the Lord being omnipotent, the Supreme Lord. Let's talk about Archa Vigraha first. The Lord, in the spiritual world, He has a name, He has a form, and it is eternal form. And we all know that there's a unique form, Govindam Adipurusham. The cause of all causes has a very unique form. That form is not limited like our forms. So that form of the Lord takes on the form of the Archa Vigraha. It takes on means what? His original form is unlimited. His original form can transform into many infinite forms. It can transform. Yet his original form will still be in the Golok Vrindavan. So his original form will transform into a form like resembling the deity. Resembling the deity. And then you have made the deity. In some shop, they cast the deity. Then you bring them. Then the Shastra says, do this Shuddhi, that Shuddhi. So many things you have to do. Very interesting processes are there. The installation process. And when all these installation processes are all being done, as per the scriptures, many things are happening at the material level. And finally there is a Lord. So Lord is watching all this. And He decides to take the form of the Krishna Chandra and enter the deity body, the energy vigraha of Radha Krishna Chandra. Now when the Lord enters, all his energies also enter. Yes or no? A big man goes somewhere, he'll go alone, huh? No. His entire entourage will go, isn't it? All his Shaktis will go. Just like Nam Nama Kari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. So the Lord descends, Lord Govinda takes a form of, it doesn't take from somewhere outside. He himself becomes the form of Krishna Chandra and enters with his Shakti into the energy vigraha. Now, is that energy vigraha ordinary anymore matter? Now we focus on energy vigraha. We discussed how everything is coming from Krishna. When I take a reincarnation, my body is not me. And the Lord takes any body, anything, it is His energy. So when He decides to come into the deity body, that deity body gets all the Shakti. Even though it is, only brass, of 60 kg brass, but actually it will start containing all the Shaktis within it. Material and spiritual Shakti, because it is the Lord has come there. So in other words, that deity body becomes the Lord. While the original Lord is always there, just like the original, when the original Lord takes the form of a deity, not that the original Lord is not there anymore, He is still there. Similarly, next level operation happens here. The Lord comes into the deity body, then He becomes the deity, but still He is the Satchidananda form is always there. So energy is simultaneously one and different from the Lord, because the energy is coming from Him. So therefore, the body of the deity or the incarnation should never be considered to be material. It is as good as if you offer a garland to the Archa Vigraha, as normally people know, Archa Vigraha is what I see with my eyes. I go and offer a garland. It is as good as offering a garland to the person Vigraha. It is and offering a garland to person Vigraha as good as offering to Govinda in Goloka Vrinda. So if something lovingly is offered, if something is part of the devotional service authorized by his pure devotee, then every service reaches the Supreme Lord. And everything is as good as, the brass deity is as good as the Satchidananda Vigraha. That is why when you offer a garland here, it goes there. These are all mystical processes. That is the reason why we should, you can say that the brass deity is an empowered incarnation of the Lord. Tomorrow somebody steals the brass deity and goes from a temple. He cannot steal the Lord. That empowered incarnation, the power will all go out. That is the difference between the person Vigraha. The person Vigraha will go out. When he goes out with all his energy, what will become to that? He can go, the thief can go and sell it for 60 kilos gold. He can sell it. That doesn't mean he is selling the Lord. Out of his own sweet will, this incarnation happens. Not that he becomes trapped in this Vigraha. Now, if you take this Vigraha, then if I am stealing this Vigraha, I am stealing the Lord. You can steal the Lord only with bhakti. Not by, breaking open the door and taking the deities away. So one should never think that any as good as means the deity body is as good as the personality of Godhead. I have sent an email. So with as much respect, as much faith, should treat the body of the Lord, the Archa Vigraha's body, as good as the Satchidananda Vigraha. See him, touch him, serve him as good as. Why we say as good as? Effect is as good as. But energy is energy, Lord. Person Lord is person Lord. Absolute truth is a combination of. Vaishnava philosophy means what? Absolute truth is? Absolute truth consists of A person, God, alone, is it? No. Unlimited energies. A person with his unlimited energies. Without Shakti, philosophy is not, Krishna consciousness is not there. Only Krishna standing somewhere is not our Vaishnava philosophy. That is not existence. Existence means energetic and energy. Energetic and energy. Not only you see Krishna everywhere, you should see everything in Krishna. Nothing can exist without him, and everything that exists is a Lord. He's not standing alone. What he will do, Krishna? Our whole philosophy is about rasa. God, one person, has got the capacity to bring forth unlimited existences and play with it. That is philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Everywhere he is involved. That is the way we say in the material world. Everybody is maintained by the Lord. Maintained by the Lord as per law of karma. Because that is his scheme of things. That's the way he wants to enjoy. He wants to enjoy giving freedom and respect to every living entity. So he creates law of karma and sends forth the living entities. Come on, carry on. Krishna is not disturbed. It is part of his, oh no, none of them are becoming devotees. They are not surrendering. No dukkha and all for Krishna. If at all there is a dukkha, it's a bhava that he will take over, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But otherwise, it's a scheme of things. That's how he's created this existence. You got that slide? Huh? This is the one. This is not the one. There's a whole... there is a chart. Email you didn't get? Okay. Okay, anyway, I'll read. Please hear attentively. I am comparing the deities, incarnation, the principle of incarnation in the deity, and the principle of incarnation in the holy name. We are familiar with many things in the deity. We are not familiar with many things in the holy name. Okay, first point one I'll say, and then I'll go to corresponding holy name. The matter body of the deity is fully spiritualized because of the descending into it of the omnipotent Satchidananda form resembling the form of the matter body. Corresponding thing, holy name. Matter vibrating as holy name, which you create with your tongue. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. He is invested with all energies and is fully spiritualized because of descending into it of the omnipotent Satchidananda sound incarnation, resembling sound vibrated by our tongue. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nitya Sarvashakti. Next. Deity form who has descended into the deity is merciful incarnation of the original Satchidananda form of the Lord in the spiritual world, becoming a form similar to the matter form and entering the matter form to reside and receive services from the conditioned souls through the spiritualized matter form. Next, Hare Krishna. The holy name who descends into the sound Krishna, who descends into the vibration of the holy name, is a merciful incarnation of the original Satchidananda sound in the spiritual world by becoming a sound similar to materially heard sound in order to receive the services from the conditioned souls who can only touch spiritualized matter now. Next. Form of that matter, deity body. Whenever rendered service with faith, it is as good as and tantamount to serving the incarnated Satchidananda deity form who has descended into the spiritual matter, spiritualized matter. Though not directly experienced by our sat senses or pure seeing, because it's not awakened due to ignorance. Though existentially we are touching. We are not experientially touching. Existentially touching means in reality you are touching God when you see God, when you see the deity. In reality you are touching God, but experientially you are not touching. Because to experientially touch, you need spiritual senses. You are experientially touching the deity body. So by going on touching the experientially the deity body, because deity body, touching the deity body is as good as touching the Supreme Lord. You are touching, or let's say in the case of deity, your seeing capacity gets purified due to the spiritual energy. That is when by touch you are getting spiritualized by seva. Then, sound of the vibrating matter when chanted and heard attentively as a service. That means the ordinary sound that you are chanting and hearing, when that is heard, it is as good as serving the incarnated supreme sound who has descended into that sound. Though, in the beginning, experientially, one does not touch experientially. Existentially it touches. I chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. It's an incarnation. That means Shuddhanama is there in it. But I cannot, I know I'm touching, but experientially I cannot. But by touching in this way, the incarnation, the Shaktya Vaishavatara, the material body, it is empowered. It will prepare me, purify me, and awaken me so that I can experience also. Suppose there is a rubber gloves on my hand, and I put a hot plate on my hand. Existentially, my hand is touching the hot plate. But experientially, is it touching? No. Why? Rubber is there in between, isn't it? But the hot plate is so powerful, slowly what it will do? It will melt the rubber. And one day you will experientially feel the heat. Similarly, now, even though the deity is Satchidananda, even though the holy name is Satchidananda, I cannot experience because of the intervening materialized senses. But what is the secret? One day I should get, go on touching. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So one should touch. How to touch? In touching we can commit offenses. Then it won't melt so fast. We can commit offenses to the deity by not respecting his act of descended presence as Satchidananda deity form, and by not treating or serving him attentively and respectfully as God should be served. This is called seva aparadha. In the deity worship, the word used in deity worship is seva aparadha. Just like in chanting holy name, nama aparadha. So similarly, we can make offenses to the holy name incarnation by not respecting his act of descended presence as Satchidananda sound incarnation into the vibrated and heard holy name. This is called Nama Aparadha. That means if you don't have the right bhava that the God is before me, and respect, love, whatever it is, gratitude, then, or neglect. These are positive things. Respect, gratitude, all these things are positive. If you don't have positive, also chalega. But if you are insulting, ignoring, watching TV, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, this is all very offense. Straight away it is offense. Inattentive chanting is an offense. So if you're making offenses, this melting does not happen. Nama Aparadha. Now, when service is rendered faithfully on the instruction of Guru, with faith, in the presence of the Lord, without offenses, we gradually get purified and liberated from the material covering. However, touching the Nama Bhasa, through the service of chanting and hearing attentively, our mind and senses become purified. By such regular association through practice of devotional service, our purification is completed and we are able to transcendently see and serve the pure Satchidananda deity form and experience his presence with our spiritually awakened senses. Nama. By regular association through practice of chanting and hearing, the purification is completed and we are able to transcendently perceive and serve Shuddha Nama. That is that Shuddha Nama. Rupa Goswami says, 2 years are not enough. Million tongues I need, million years I need. It is so sweet. That is Shuddha Nama. Thus, both existential and experiential realization of pure holy name takes place when we will seek million ears and tongues to taste the sweetness of Nama. Thus, both existential and experiential realization of deity form takes place. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the deity of Jagannath, fell unconscious. He fell totally unconscious. First time he went, saw Jagannath. So, in summary, the various things, various steps that we need to intellectually understand first, philosophically, and then that tattva has to be practiced, then it's a great opportunity. That's why our Krishna, our path of spiritual progress is a direct process, not through big philosophy and all. No, not at all. The more you touch Hare Krishna, more you serve the Lord personally. All realization will come because our spiritual intelligence will become spiritualized. Mind will become spiritualized. Our senses will become spiritualized. When it becomes spiritualized, it will vibrate in the spiritual mode. If my intellect gets spiritualized, it vibrates in the spiritual mode means what? All philosophy I will automatically have. All philosophy automatically I will have when it vibrates Okay, summary. The pure holy name, Sound Krishna, is eternally vibrating in the spiritual world. Point number 1. To show mercy on us, Sound Krishna descends in a sound form that resembles the sound of our individual chanting as an incarnation. 3. The pure holy name that descends spiritualizes a vibrated sound by investing with it all spiritual energy, making it enable us to touch pure holy name. With the pure holy name being present in such spiritualized vibration, touching such vibrated holy name is functionally as good as touching the pure holy name, due to merger of spiritual qualities of pure holy name and spiritualized qualities of vibrated holy name. The Lord takes a form resembling each of our chanting. Your chanting sound is a little different. My chanting sound is different. Identical to that, He takes a form. Just like each deity. Radha Vrindavan Chandra looks different, no? From Krishna Chandra. So there he takes the form of Radha Krishna Chandra. There Vrindavan Chandra. Here Krishna Chandra. So similarly, when you chant, in your Shabda, the Lord, the Nama will incarnate. In your Shabda, so many incarnations. As many chanters are there, that many incarnations. Therefore, when you, that's why it is said, you should hear your chanting. Because the Lord has taken the form of your chanting. So you should hear Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then you relate with that. Associating with that vibrated sound will purify our consciousness to start with. Due to existential touch of the holy name, like the iron put in fire becomes fire. When completely purified by such contact, the chanter not only existentially touches pure holy name, but can also experientially touch the pure holy name, descended in a form resembling exactly the external vibrated sound. Till such stage, existential touch is a fact, and experiential touch is only to different degrees of reciprocation, directly by the holy name, according to the level of purification. Any questions? जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय.